I thought I'd be at. The only reason why I haven't achieved what I set out to achieve is because I've been denied fights, you know.
He doesn't want to be that individual that says, I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda. We're fighting. You're a fighter. You come into the sport to fight. So
Anthony Yarde, I think he's like ranked number 4, number 5. He was a great fighter. He's a veteran. He's fought a lot of great fighters as well. And, you know, that's where we're going. Now we're just picking off the great fighters on the side.
David Benavidez is number 1 in boxing to me in terms of fighting spirit.
That's what we're here for, to give the fans what they want to see.
Brick versus brick.
David Benavidez is making his intentions clear as the November 22nd fight gets closer. He keeps telling Anthony Yarde that this matchup will end fast. The 27-year-old outsider is about to face a harsh reality from him. Benavidez has shown he's in top shape and prepared for a battle, not just a normal fight.
You know, I'm not scared of any fight. You know, I'm not scared if a fighter comes ready. I'm not scared if a fighter has power or if you have good IQ. You know, that's why I am who I am. That's why I'm David Benavidez. That's why I'm the monster. Because, you know, I don't run from nobody. You know, if anything, I welcome big fights. I welcome wars. And, you know, however he wants to do it, let's do it. You know, I'm ready for whatever comes my way.
This isn't a random claim. It's a direct warning. The Mexican monster is ready to prove every word he says. Everything started when the 2-division winner David Benavidez gave a strong message, saying this wasn't trash talk. It was a straight answer. He said the fight would end in a painful and final way. In public, he said, "I accept and I welcome war." The boxing world was shocked by that quote.
Definitely stuff that you have to worry about. You know, he has good counter punches. He has a good left hook. It looks like he has power. So, you know, I'm going to be who I always am. You know, I always have good defense. I always have a good jab. I always have, you know, good flurries. I can counter punch as well. So this is stuff I know how to do really well. You know what I mean? So I just got to do what I'm doing, what I've already know how to do, but, you know, just do it better.
This wasn't the usual talk fighters use before a match. It was a cold and planned statement of what he expects. In his talk with Fight Hype, Benavidez said he trained for 4.5 months. Calling Yarde the toughest opponent of his career, he said Yarde would learn a serious lesson once fight night comes.
I'm fighting Anthony Yarde November 22nd in Riyadh. You know, he's a great fighter. I've watched him a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a tough veteran. He's fought against a lot of great fighters. I feel like this is the perfect opponent for me. By looking at his resume, you know, he's solid. He's solid on paper. But we're just going to have to go in there and see what type of fighter he is and what type of spirit he has.
This is a real fight for David Benavidez. It's a real fight for Anthony Yarde. But one thing about David Benavidez, he was sparring and holding his own against elite 160, 168, 175 pounders when he was a teenager, 13, 14, 15. Who does that sound like? Sounds like Moses Atama right now. Same thing, was just a boxing prodigy. Didn't stay as an amateur long because of his talent. That being said, Yarde started boxing late, but he is a real threat. Who do you got winning? I got Benavidez winning. I just think Benavidez's mentality is different. I think Yarde, strong. He's not going to want to lose.
Why would an undefeated fighter deliver such a warning? The answer comes from a claim that fired up Anthony Yarde's team, especially his coach. They said publicly that Benavidez ignored him. Many believed Benavidez was so focused on future big fights with champions like Beterbiev and Bivol that he viewed Yarde as nothing more than a step toward his next goal.
I like David Benavidez, but him fighting Yarde, you know, I got Benavidez winning, but I think if Yarde attacks Benavidez's body, you know, his body is kind of soft. He may knock Benavidez out with a body shot because Yarde can crack.
Never said no to an opponent. Fought the best people, always giving a good account of himself, been better every time, and then goes out there and then does it.
I will say that this is the toughest fight of David's career. Anthony Yarde has been at 175 for a long time. You can see his body, super cut, a lot of power, and a very dangerous fighter. He's going to bring the best out of David.
But the claim backfired. Benavidez responded with anger and called it an invitation to war. He promised he hadn't forgotten anyone and said Yarde would now pay for making that claim.
Well, I think it's a dangerous fight. I think it's a great fight. It's a tough fight. We never underestimate nobody, you know. I think I want to say that this is the toughest fight in our careers. You know, we never fought nobody like Anthony Yarde. We're going to be ready. We're going to train hard, and we're going to come at our best in order to win, look impressive, and keep...
All right, shake it up, Lemieux. Back comes Lemieux. All right, and down goes Lemieux.
But then everything flipped. In a surprising twist, Anthony Yarde, the man accused of being overlooked, gave his own chilling warning. This wasn't the voice of someone unsure. It was the calm tone of a man ready for the fight.
Came across your table, you and your team. Why did you say yes straight away? Why was there no hesitation to take it?
Because of, again, something Benavidez can probably see in me. I'm just real. Why am I in boxing if I'm not willing to fight the best? Again, I had 12 amateur fights. I've still taken all challenges, you know, and it's just in me. So I'm the kind of person, if this fight got offered to me and I didn't take it, I'll question myself. Say no box is perfect, no box is without flaws. With my power, again, if I land on him, you know, at the wrong time, he's gone. Same thing for him with me. You know, he's a big volume puncher, great pressure, etc. But styles make.
Yarde's answer became the biggest source of pressure in the whole build-up. He said, with my power, if I land at the wrong time, he's gone. That one line changed the whole story. Yarde isn't coming to survive. He's coming to end it.
Russia was an experience we learned from. And he came back, fought the fight of the year against Benavidez. These guys are 300-400 amateur fights. But each time, we've got better. Each time we've gained experience, and I just feel the time is ripe now. Experience has been banked, and yeah, it's going to be a great.
I just think David Benavidez has just got something special about him. I will say though that David Morrell did catch Benavidez, because Benavidez will get a little over anxious, aggressive, and sometimes be a little bit will neglect his defense. And if he does that and gets hit with a big hook, a big shot like what Morrell caught him with, by the much bigger Yarde, you know, hey, Yarde could drop him, could really hurt him. But that being said, I just think David Benavidez has just got something special about him, and I think he's gonna clip Yarde. You know, does he beat him within 5-6 rounds? I don't know, but I think just battle of attrition between round 8, 9, and 10. I think Benavidez could get a stoppage if he does not get reckless and get caught by Yarde.
Using Benavidez's perfect 30-0 record against him, Yarde made it seem like the undefeated streak made him too comfortable instead of unbeatable. Yarde's point is simple. A man who has never been pushed into deep trouble doesn't fully know how to react when he finally faces real danger.
I told you, man. Jackie Chan with the jet knee, man. We do it, man. No. Okay,
Beterbiev. That was the one I was like, that's like 2 car crashes, right? And then the next one was Bivol. Obviously, it isn't those guys as well. So is there a disappointment that you ain't fighting either of those guys?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment that I'm not fighting those guys. But right now, like I said, it's just patience. I honestly, I respect the fact that Bivol's granting Beterbiev the 3rd fight, you know, because it's really honorable. Beterbiev gave him the first chance, and now he gave him, and they gave him the rematch. So I think, you know, I think that's an honorable thing to do. But now it's just like, how long is that going to take? When is that going to happen?
Yarde is preparing to be that danger. The first real test that he believes the monster will fail. His confidence isn't blind hope. Yarde believes he's found the plan. After watching tape, he says he found a major weakness in Benavidez's style. He keeps mentioning Benavidez's fight with David Morrell, where Benavidez was briefly hurt.
Benavidez corners Morrell.
Was certainly tight. He looks like a 175 guy. You see the weigh-in with Vosdick. He is a 175 pounder that was killing himself to 168. I can't imagine what he's going to weigh in on fight.
Yarde compares that moment to his own record. Even though he has losses, they came in tough fights against names like Sergey Kovalev, Lyndon Arthur, and Artur Beterbiev. Yarde has survived punishment from some of the hardest punchers and is still standing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see fights like that, in my opinion. I only see fights risky if you don't take the necessary precautions to get ready for the fight. But me, I don't overlook anybody. I work extremely hard. I have like 4.5 months working for this, training for this fight. Anthony Yarde is not necessarily the hardest fight out there for me, but I given him the respect like if he is. He's fought against, he's got stopped against Kovalev. He's got stopped against Archer Beterbiev. He's got a great performance, but he's still been stopped. You know what I mean?
He's framing this matchup as a veteran versus a new champion who hasn't been tested. Yarde believes he's the more dangerous fighter because he has more experience. He says he only needs one clean shot to prove it.
What do fighters do when they see each other for the first time? Is there like a sizing up, like a height? What do you do?
I think now at this moment, we're both at, we have basically veterans in the game. It's just another meeting, another encounter. It doesn't really mean nothing until we get in the ring, He looks like a good dude, looks like a nice guy. He's a great fight in the ring, and I have a lot of
guy who sits in the pocket with him like that with fast hands. I think he might have some success early, Yarde, but Yarde has those big bulky muscles, and he just don't have a natural stamina or endurance to deal with a guy like David, who got supple long distance muscles. And David, man, is a mean, you know what? He got fighting spirit. You know what I mean?
From Benavidez's side, Yarde's team is partly correct, which is surprising. He is looking past Yarde, but not in the disrespectful way they claimed. Yarde has always been part of the plan. He's an important step in the bigger picture.
Is it a name you're chasing or the titles?
No, so to be honest with you, how I see it, at the end of the day, every name runs out. So what you're really chasing is just the titles. I'm really just chasing the titles, and I'm just really looking to beat whoever is the best in my division. Because like I said, people, once you beat them, you're always gonna need another person. You're gonna need another person, and I don't really feel like there's that one fighter I'm after. I just want to show my greatness and then just keep continuing to beat great fighters in the sport.
Benavidez's whole goal is based on building a legacy. He wants to be the #1 fighter, and Yarde is simply the man standing in front of that path. When asked how upset he was about the Beterbiev or Bivol fights not happening yet, he gave a surprising answer. He said the delay actually helps him. At 28, time is on his side. He believes those champions will struggle more as he keeps improving.
By this time, I would have wanted, if I had the crystal ball like you said, I would have been unified world champion, but that hasn't happened yet. So that makes me even more motivated. It makes me work even harder because now I have a big goal and I haven't accomplished it. I've won world titles in 2 different weight classes, and I'm still chasing that.
He sees the Yarde fight as more experience, another chance to get better before the moment he earns his true crown and becomes unbeatable. 15. This drive to be remembered is what defines Benavidez. It shows in the way he talks about everything in and outside the sport.
You were hoping to get the winner of Beterbiev Bivol 2. That fell through. How disappointing was it, and do you think you'll get him in the ring next year, one or both?
Yeah, it was a little disappointing, but honestly, I see things like in the longevity things, it's not really disappointing because it would be disappointing if I was just looking for a paycheck just to retire, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Every fight for me, I'm barely 28 years old, so I have a long time left. So the longer they take, the harder it's going to be for them. You know what I mean? I'm still in the prime of my career. I'm still hungry. I'm still itching for them big fights. You know what I mean? So
he didn't laugh when asked about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua. Instead, he said Jake Paul was brave for taking that risk. Benavidez respects bravery. He admires athletes who take bold steps to be great, just like he does.
So, first of all, David Benavidez deserves to be on the pound-for-pound list. David Benavidez is the best fighter I've ever coached against. He's the real deal. So I expect him to beat Yarde, but I expect this to be a tough fight. And one of the reasons why I expect it to be a tough fight is sometimes the remnants of your last fight carries over. Benavidez took some punishment versus Morrell. He was hurt a couple of times. If you watch that fight real good, Morrell took a couple of dirty shots after the bell, but he also hurt David a couple of times with a couple of little right hooks in there.
AJ versus Jake came out from Mike Coppinger. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
yeah, it was a bit surprising. You know what I mean? It's a tall task coming from, you know what I mean, literally moving from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua. So man, this is gonna be a tough fight. You know, honestly, Jake Paul's really showing his balls on this one. So, you know, it's gonna be a good fight. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All of this is leading to a huge clash on November 22nd. Benavidez, the high-pressure machine, will try to push Yarde back and hit him until he falls. He wants to prove his early warning was real. Yarde, the patient underdog, will wait for that one perfect counter he promised. The punch he believes will expose the monster. That's all for today's show. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you enjoyed it so you don't miss the next video. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next episode.